Ah, what a lovely day. Okay, that's my book. Oh no, my desk is all messy. What should I do about that? Now that we got that out of the way. Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick thing before this video, just saying that this video was filmed a little bit ago, before the book came out and stuff. You know, book, I've been super happy with how that's going. A lot of people tweeting about it, people saying they got copies and stuff, which is pretty crazy because it was such a big meme. Apollo Floof here took a picture. Thank you guys. My local library is actually going to list it in their books, which I am personally super excited about. What else has happened since then? Oh yeah, this video was filmed before gay people were not allowed to buy wedding cakes. Happy Pride Month, I believe it is. It's June. It's Pride Month because of in 1969, I think, there was riots. I'm not going to go into the details, but yeah, you know, this is a time to celebrate who you are and be proud of yourself. And you know what? This is actually really interesting because coincidentally, just like 2 hours ago at the time of recording, the Supreme Court came out as being like, we're here to support you gays. So, and LGBTQ plus people. So, what they've did, this is in a sweeping act of justice. I'm really impressed by this. It is now apparently completely fine to refuse people service if they're gay or not. Well, no, of course, I'm massively simplifying. Somebody in the comments is like, oh no, Avery, that's incorrect. You see, it's just because these guys wanted to buy a cake for their wedding. This guy up here was like, no, you guys are gay, I don't want to make you a wedding cake. And the Supreme Court's like, yep, this, okay, you know, happy Pride Month, guys. What the frick? What the frick? Okay, that's not what this video is about. We're doing some 3D scanning today. This was filmed a while ago when gay people were allowed to buy cakes. You know, with that out of the way, let's just, let's do a... Ready? We're gonna do a spin. Recording. Everybody's synced. Okay, great. I need to be... Thank goodness this thing's an action camera. That was what we're going to be doing today is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time. It's related to the 3D printing stuff that we've done now and again. Ignore that sock right there. 3D printing is a cool thing. We've established this. I think color 3D printing is the coolest because you can print stuff in color. Wow, Avery really breaking some new grounds here. My point is that I really want to be able to make a statue of myself or something and print it out in color. It's possible. You could do it now if you wanted to. You have to scan somebody into the computer. That's a whole process. We're going to go into that process today. And then you have to send it to like a company like Shapeways, which we've covered before. Then they can print it out for you, right? The main issue is creating a 3D model. Let's say I wanted to create a model of this 3D printed object right here. It was 3D printed in color, okay? If I wanted to 3D scan this object into the computer, the way you would have to go about doing that is, there's several. One of the most popular solutions you'll see, especially if this was a real dog, is you'd get like 50 cameras and place each one at an angle, and then you could take a bunch of pictures at the same time from different angles, and you can match up the pictures to like figure out what the object looks like in 3D. Problem with that, very expensive. There, for a while, there was a software from Autodesk, I think. And I mean, there's other software that can do this now, where you take a bunch of pictures, you take one here, and then you take one there, and you take one there, and you just do it 360 degrees, like around the object, and then the computer can try to, using like certain parts of the image, overlay the images and create some sort of weird 3D model. Problem is, at least with me, most of the time it wouldn't even work. It took so long. It was such a bother. A couple months ago, I came across this app called Clone, I believe is how you pronounce it, but it's spelled with a Q. It's very hip. You can see it up here, and basically, yeah, so what it does is it's an app, and they give you, my camera skills are not very good today, or any day. They give you this mat you can print out, the thing over there, take pictures around the object, but it does it automatically, if that makes any sense. And we're gonna show this off in a second here. And mainly, the reason it works so well is because of the fact that there's all these tracking points on the mat, so the computer doesn't have to try to find objects in the background and like assemble them all weird. So basically how this is gonna work is we have this mat, and because we have all those dots on there, it's really easy for your phone to pick out what's what and the orientation of the mat and all this stuff. And when we rotate around the mat, it's going to be a lot easier for the computer to figure out what it's looking at. I keep saying computer, but I mean phone. So, we're gonna give this a shot. I would have liked to use my paws for it, but I haven't been able to figure out where they went since, oh, okay. Okay, you can see we're in this clone app here, and we got all these cool options. You know, I've done some scans already. These are from a couple months ago. Now, this is going to be really difficult because the paws there's fuzz on it, of course, and also they're a little bit larger than I expected. We're going to try to scan this in, and then I'm going to try to 3D print it and see what happens. Obviously, one of the big issues with this is that it's not going to be in color. And color is where most of the definition is going to be coming through with this scan. Can't imagine it's going to be able to pick out like depth very well. Point is, let's see what happens. Here's the rub. The clone app is rather glitchy. Now, I'm not going to fault them for that. You know, it's like very ambitious. You know, I understand. But for some reason, it will not let me use my screen recorder, which is problematic if I want to show you guys what's going on screen. When I click the plus button-y thingy, takes forever to load. Okay, when it does come up, we get the bubble for a second, but then it goes away. And see that little green area there? Like, what it's supposed to do is each one of those little angles on that sphere are supposed to go clear. And I couldn't really figure out what the deal was because I would sit there and wait for it to take the picture and nothing would happen. But I'm thinking what I need to do, go at a low angle, just to give you guys a sense of what this looks like. We gotta position it so it can, and that is very strange. Okay, it's Avery, I'm back. It's been like 50 million hours. I decided I couldn't get the smaller sheet to work, so I just remade a massive one. I've been messing with the software forever, and we just got our first look at Miss Universe. No, that was a callback to a couple years ago, huh?
Philippines, take your first walk as Miss Universe.
Check it out. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and try to rescan in it at a different pose. So let's try that. You can see the dome appearing. It's really boring. You just move around the object like this until the entire dome is completely clear. Wish me luck. Be back soon. Okay, so this is what has happened since I last talked to you guys. Basically, I spent a bunch of time trying to scan in the paw, and I eventually figured it out, okay? I think the secret is to have the mat print out correctly, because the last mat I used that didn't work was just like slightly off. I cut it out of multiple pieces of paper and like I split it up onto different pieces of paper and like taped them together, and I overlapped the papers just a tiny bit, and that was enough for the software to have trouble picking it up. So I think that's where my problem really was rooted. I did a bunch of scanning. I think I did about 3 attempts, and this is what I got. Yeah, I know it's not the most amazing thing in the world, but look, it's rotating around, and I'm quite happy with it. I think the obvious thing here is it doesn't look that great, but the alternative is capturing like hundreds of pictures with a camera and then like assembling them together, and maybe I'll give that a shot at some point, but I really feel like this is pretty much the best we're gonna get, especially considering that your phone doesn't have depth perception. Like I mean, I suppose it does when you're like moving the camera around the object, but it doesn't have any sensors on it to like scan the object. It's not like the Kinect or something. I'm sure you're wondering what this is. Well, I took this model and I 3D printed it, and this is it. If we're gonna be optimistic here, it definitely is paw shaped. I see where I think the main problem here is that if I showed this to someone and asked them what it was, they would not be able to tell. And so it didn't work very well. I know why. Like we said, it's not very good at sensing depth in minute details, right? So the paw beans didn't actually show up. What I went ahead and did is I brought the model into Blender, and you can see here there was a lot of weird glitches with the mesh. Like you can see there's holes here, and I think that's That's what I got from the clone app. Also, when I was trying to model, this happened. I think there was some sort of issue with the way the paw model was exported or something, because there's all these, or maybe I was doing something wrong, who knows. So what I did is I like smoothed it all down, and I tried to add something that looks like paw beans, but it really didn't go super well. And then also there's some sort of weird thing going on down here, which I'm not even gonna try to comment on. Point is, I tried. And what we got from that 3D print, I feel like it's slightly better now, although still not by much. I did smooth out the bottom a little bit, make it look like an actual paw instead of this. What have we learned today? What's my wrap up? Scanning stuff with your phone, it's very difficult. This clone app is the best option I've found, and it turns out okay. Sometimes it's exceptionally well, other times like this, it's not fantastic, but hey, what are you gonna do? We also learned that Avery is not a professional 3D modeler. This is what they make. If you zoom in, it's like, oh, it creeps me out. I don't understand. There's all these squares. Ugh. Subscribe if you would like to hear stuff. If you didn't like this video, you can give me constructive criticism in the comments and smack that dislike button. But if you did like this video, please let me know. It was a little bit of an experiment, a little bit of a mess around thing. I think it was rather productive. I would like to thank my Patreon subscribers. Ocelot still going strong. Thank you guys. Couldn't do this without you. Also, I'm sort of doing a new thing with the Patreon where I put videos up 24 hours earlier for them. If you're interested in that, you can check that out. And I will see you guys next time with some very exciting stuff. I am so excited, guys. You have no idea. I don't know. I've known about this insect for such a long time. Wow. Look at him, huh?